Hi, everybody. Dr. Val here, and I'm back to talk today about the sleep triad. What is a sleep triad? Well, it's something that I teach all of my patients, especially the ones who come and talk to me about their insomnia. Because what we take a look at is we're trying to break down the reason why they have a hard time sleeping. So the sleep triad is made up of one, our homeostatic sleep drive, two, our circadian rhythm, and three, our arousal state. So let's start with number one, our homeostatic sleep drive. And this one is pretty easy to comprehend. All it is the longer you're awake, the sleepier you are. The reason for this is that you actually build up this pressure. And so the longer you go without sleeping, the more sleepy you get. And this is something actually that's called process S, or it's also known as adenosine. Adenosine is actually a protein that is blocked by caffeine. So actually the receptors are blocked by caffeine. So if you are someone who maybe doesn't drink caffeine too often, and then you do have some caffeine, it keeps adenosine from attaching to your receptors, which can make you feel more awake. But I'm sure everybody knows someone who can drink, a cup of espresso and then fall asleep right away. And I think it's sometimes your brain and your body just gets used to having the caffeine around. So the receptors it just doesn't work as well, doesn't work the same. So that's one process. The second is our circadian rhythm. And our circadian rhythm is based on light, darkness, and melatonin. And so I'm sure everyone here has heard of, get off your screens an hour before your bedtime. And there really is a science behind that. The reason for that is if you have too much exposure to bright light before your desired bedtime, it can delay the release of melatonin. And what is melatonin? There's been a lot of information about melatonin in the news recently because some manufacturers are actually putting CBD in the gummies when they probably shouldn't because it's not labeled as that. However, melatonin is actually a natural hormone that's released in the pineal gland deep inside of your brain in response to darkness. Some people sort of view melatonin as a sleeping pill, but really what it helps regulate the different stages of sleep. And so our circadian rhythm is based on light, darkness, and melatonin. So when it's dark, your body starts to release melatonin, which helps promote sleepfulness, decreased arousal. And then when it's bright out, melatonin goes away and you become awake and alert. So that's really what, in a nutshell, the circadian rhythm is. Sometimes people who come and see me have a hard time sleeping at night. And when we ask them really about their sleep schedule, on the weekends, they're going to sleep maybe 1 or 2 a.m., but during the week, they're lying in bed at 9 or 10. And then they really have a hard time sleeping during the week because their clock isn't quite ready. And so your circadian rhythm is just your internal clock. And it's really important if you are trying to sleep earlier and you're more of a night owl to get bright sunlight in the morning. Go for that morning walk. And if you don't have access to a lot of sunlight, you can actually buy a light box of at least 10,000 lux and put it at your desk. Because what light does is helps reset that clock. It gets your body primed for when it should go to bed the next day. So we covered two things, right? Our homeostatic sleep drive, our circadian rhythm, and the third, probably the most important, to be honest, is our arousal state. So I always talk to my patients about sleep happens when your brain waves slow down. So if you have a hard time going to sleep because your brain is just too active, you're worried about something, maybe you have anxiety that's not controlled, or just worried about your ability to go to sleep, guess what? That can keep you from falling asleep. And so what do we do about that? Well, there's a whole host of different exercises that you can do. I'm a big fan of breathing exercises. On the channel, you can listen to things like a cloud metaphor or even a body scan meditation. But really what it is it's finding a good mind-body practice that you can do on a regular basis to really help slow down your brain waves. Journaling is also another good example for this. So I hope you like this video. Let me know in the comments what you think about it. As a review, the sleep triad is the homeostatic sleep drive, our circadian rhythm, and our arousal state. So if you have a hard time sleeping, try to figure out where the disruption is along those three things. All righty. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Sleep well.